Slidin Joe Biden. That's the headline of the latest Quinnipiac poll. Sleepy Joe's numbers are falling faster than my chances of getting invited to the White House Christmas party this year, which, of course, probably won't happen because they'll probably cancel Christmas. Rules for thee, not for me. I've spent several years analyzing numbers from stock markets to political races, and I've never seen poll numbers fall this fast and over a wide range of topics. The numbers are bad, folks, but what I like to do is dig in a little deeper to see how these polls are constructed. Unfortunately for old Joe, the methodology Quinnipiac used makes things even worse than the numbers would show. And here's what I mean. Methodology that they used was here. Look at this. Republicans, Democrats. Democrats were overpolled by 5%. I get it. That's what people do. They believe there are more Democrats than Republicans in America, so they're 5% more. But remember that number. It's important. And this number is massive. 37% of the Quinnipiac poll are self-described independents. That's why, with even this advantage of a 5% skew, essentially a big fat Democrat thumb on the balance scale, when asked people about overall approval of Biden, this happened. Check this out. This is amazing. We know overall 15% underwater. That's a massive slide from just a couple of months ago. But what goes into it? Yeah, we know Democrats love the guy. 80% approve, 10% disapprove. And we know Republicans can't stand the guy. 4% approve only. Got that. Let's take that out of the equation. Remember that 37% independents? Here's why. Races are won and lost with independents. 60% of independents have an unfavorable disapproval rating for President Biden. That is a huge number. It didn't get any better when asked about the economy. Look at the numbers on the economy. They're just as bad. Handling gets worse. 61% of independents have an unfavorable Joe Biden opinion on the economy. Now that is amazing. Maybe Biden is sliding with the economy because he thinks we're stupid. Listen to him, or Psaki suggest we're dumb enough to believe they can spend $3.5 trillion of our money and it won't cost a penny. Listen.
But I will also note, and we've done this a little bit over the past couple of days, but that this package, the reconciliation package, would cost $0.
$0. Unbelievable. Sliding Biden's numbers get even worse when you look at foreign policy. Let's look at the poll numbers at foreign policy. This is unbelievable. 62%. It's getting worse and worse. Foreign policy, 62% unfavorable rating among independents. Again, presidencies, House seats, Senate seats are won with the independent vote. He's getting slammed. Maybe that drop is because he lied about Afghanistan. This clip will haunt old Slidin Joe Biden for a very long time.
But your top military advisors warned against withdrawing on this timeline. They wanted you to keep about 2,500 troops.
No, they didn't. It was split. That wasn't true. That wasn't true.
They didn't tell you that they wanted troops to stay?
No, not in terms of whether we were going to get out in a time frame, all troops. They didn't argue against that.
So no one told your military advisors did not tell you, no, we should just keep 2,500 troops. It's been a stable situation for the last several years. We can do that. We can continue to do that.
No, no one said that to me that I can recall.
Wow. Blatant lie, and we now know it was a lie because Milley and Austin told us the opposite of that. It goes from bad to worse for Biden when the border question comes up. Look at how the president's numbers fail him at the border. Check out these numbers again. 60, 61, 73% of independents have an unfavorable opinion of Joe Biden when it comes to the border. That is amazing. Only 18%. Again, races won and lost. Maybe because he's never been to the border and he has zero plan for the border, and the border is a disaster with up to 400,000 migrants on their way already to our border. That's according to a leaked memo by Alejandro Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary. Meanwhile, what was the most pressing issue for Slidin Joe Biden's administration? Oh, remember this?
In the midst of meeting these challenges, we, our entire nation, saw horrifying images that do not reflect who we are, who we aspire to be, or the integrity and values of our truly heroic personnel in the Department of Homeland Security. The investigation into what occurred has not yet concluded. We know that those images painfully conjured up the worst elements of our nation's ongoing battle against systemic racism.
Come on. It's law and order. Don't break the law. Don't come across our border. You won't get arrested. Has nothing to do with racism. We don't care what color you are coming across the border. If you jump the border, black, white, brown, Asian, whatever, you're going back. You should be going back, but not with this crew. But nowhere does President Biden, Slidin Biden, fail more miserably than when asked about his command of the military. Being commander-in-chief, you'd want the president to have the confidence of we, the people. Joe Biden apparently does not have our confidence in the commander-in-chief, and he should. Take a look at these poll numbers. 65% independents, 94%, even 58%, overall 58, even 58% of overalls say we don't trust him as commander-in-chief. The president is in bad shape. He never had the approval of Republicans, we knew that, but now independents are falling hard against Slidin Joe Biden. And this doesn't bode well for the Democrat Party in 12 and a half months. When Americans go back to the voting booth, on average, the party in the White House loses 25 House seats, representative House seats, in the first midterm elections. At present, Democrats have a 6-seat majority in the House. It's almost a lock that Republicans take back the House, and Democrats will have only one man to blame, Slidin Joe Biden. It's on you, pal.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.